Take me home tonight. Listen, honey, just like Ronnie said. Just like Ronnie said.
All right. Hello and welcome back to episode number 8 of the unofficial official podcast from Straightener Chaser. As always, my name is Mike Luganbill. I'm here with two other members of the band, Seggy and Tyler. What's up, guys? How are we doing today?
Hello, we're doing good. Still in tour prep mode,
Hmm.
but getting more excited as the weeks progress up until we get started. And yeah, doing good.
The
Nice.
Ocho, we made it to 8. The haters said we couldn't do it. They never thought we could get here. I always love when super successful people in their field say that, because it's
Yeah.
nobody said that to you. You're like ranked number 1 in the world. Nobody doubted you, bro. Maybe when you were like 8, which this is episode number,
That's right.
and full circle.
It's
And
like,
we're back.
it's like an athlete when they need to try to find a way to hype themselves up, even though there's no,
That
you know,
chip
they-
on their shoulder.
yeah, they got to figure that out somehow. But good.
Or it takes.
Yeah. On this episode, what are we going to do? On this episode, we're going to answer some more questions. We're going to talk about some of our travel issues that we mentioned on the pod a few weeks ago. We're going to get to those, and then we're going to go back into the mailbag and we're going to answer some more questions. I want to say real quickly, I want to give a shout out to all the chasers who made it up to Indianapolis this last weekend for the shows I did with Ryan, the small town city shows. There's a bunch there on Friday when we opened for Jerome, and then there was just a lot of support over the weekend. So I just wanted to give a shout out to everybody who was there, and that was really fun.
It looked awesome, dude. I saw so many posts from different chasers that
Yeah.
made it out. Yeah, man, you could just tell how proud they are. You know what I mean? Like,
It's great.
of you guys, that they got to see you guys. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was happy to see that. I couldn't make the show because I wasn't there, but I'm sure it was amazing.
And they
Yeah,
get
it
to
was good
see
fun.
they get to see you guys playing instruments and like singing a bunch of originals and just like a different style of show. It's all good. There's a little bit different, but that's awesome that I saw a lot of posts too. That's cool that all those people came out.
There was one thing I said to Ryan. I was like, because we knew what songs we were going to do on Friday, but we didn't know about the next night. So it was like the afternoon on Saturday, and he's, hey, how about we do this one instead of this one? And I was like, okay. And then I said to him on the side, I was like, I love how in this context, like we can switch around the songs and it's like really easy. And I mentioned how like with us, it's like harder to just because all of our songs are synced up with the lights and the production and all that. And I was like, man, it's just awesome. It was just nice to be able to have that freedom to switch it up on the spot or whatever. But
Totally.
it's cool. But
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely a different beast when you're stuff like that where you're trying to change on the fly. A lot of instrumentalists that just have the guitar with the chords, so it's easy to, oh, we're gonna go here, or we're gonna go here. Oh, we can switch to this song here. Where as an
Right.
acapella group, it's a little bit more difficult. Sometimes we can change on the fly, but it's just a little more that goes into it.
yeah, it's like I remember when we did the show where we lost the mics and we lost the sound and like we lost the power. That show was more like this. It was more like, hey, what should we do next? Or I don't want to do that song. And it's like, all right, we do something else. So it's rare for that to happen for us, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, unless something like that where the entire power goes out and there's 2,000 people in the audience. Okay, what now?
Yeah.
But makes for a fun story though.
Yeah. So that was good. You guys, should we get into the travel stuff and then we'll get
Yes.
into the mailbag? Okay. Yeah.
Let me start.
You
Yeah.
can start.
I'll open, you close, because
Okay,
the
great.
closer
Okay,
the
great.
closer is
Great.
a much bigger thing. So we were flying from Indianapolis to Anchorage, and I flew through Minneapolis. So I get on the plane in Minneapolis, boarding to Anchorage. It's a long flight, 6 hours or so. An animal just ran into your house, Mike. I don't know if you want to check in on that.
Yeah.
But we sit
He lives
down.
here. He
And
lives here, so it's fine.
in the house?
Yeah,
Oh,
he lives inside.
Some people have
interesting.
pets, Seggy.
Anyway, so we sit down and I go to sit in my seat, and there's an older gentleman and his wife sitting in my seat and the seat next to it. So I'm like, it's all good. What seat are you in? I'll just take that seat. And it was just across the aisle. So I sit down in my seat, and this guy was 80 years old, as he announced to everyone on the plane. And he came on the plane already tuned up. He had been spending a little time at the bar in the airport.
Mm.
As soon as he sat down, he slammed a couple of whiskeys on the rocks, and he began to get very loud. Not in a confrontational way at first with anybody. He was just talking to his wife, and they were already speaking louder just because they're probably hard of hearing, they're older. And he just gets progressively louder and louder. And at this point, we're up in the air, we're flying. It had been probably an hour or two, and I'm texting you guys. Shout out Delta with the free Wi-Fi. And I'm like, you guys would not believe what is happening on our plane right now. There's this old man sitting up here, and he's so loud, and he was saying like the most hilarious things. He was like, "You're never gonna change me. I am who I am." He's just like screaming to no one. It's that meme of the Homer's dad on Simpsons, or is it Marge's dad, who's like screaming at the clouds? Old man yells at cloud. Anyway, so at one point he put his head down on his tray table and was like unresponsive. And his wife got a little worried, called the flight attendant over, and he like didn't move for a few minutes. And the flight attendant was like, "Uh-oh, is there what's going on? Do we need a doctor? What's happening?" He was just passed out. And when he
I was
woke
gonna
up,
say I'm not a doctor, but it may have been the alcohol.
yeah, and when he woke up, he was even more belligerent, to the point where the flight attendant said the pilot was seriously considering landing the plane and getting rid of this guy. One thing he said that I just thought was hilarious. He was talking about a friend of his who was a woman. He was like, "Yeah, I like her." And he's like literally screaming. He's like, "I like her and she likes me, but it's nothing sexual. We're just friends." And I'm just like, dude, what are you
Oh
talking about?
boy.
Your poor wife. So I'm texting you guys this, and I'm just like, I've got the story of the day, guys. I've got the story of the day. You wouldn't believe it. This is insane. I can't believe this is happening. And I'm watching it all. And then I get a text back from you guys.
From us.
And
Yeah.
this is where the story really gets going.
Ugh.
As the saying goes, hold our beer.
Yeah. So I was on a plane with Rome and Tyler, and I think we all know that whenever you fly on a plane with Rome, something always happens. Like
Oh, you're blaming this on Jerome?
something goes wrong.
Every time.
I'm
Oh
not blaming this
no.
on Jerome. I'm
It's
not.
definitely his fault.
I'm not. No, it's definitely not his fault. But there was an incident on the way to Alaska. So we leave and we go out of Indy. We go Indy, Dallas, and then from there up to Anchorage. It's about a 6.5 hour flight. In the middle of the flight, about 3 hours in, I have to go to the bathroom. So I walk up. I'm like, oh, shoot. I didn't actually see that the red light was on. I walk back to my seat. I'm like, I really have to go. So I'm like, what is going on in there? What's going on? It was probably 10 to 12 minutes. Nothing's happening. I walk up again and I'm like, what's happening in there? I don't know if you want to check, but I really have to go to the bathroom and I wasn't sure what was happening. So I just went to the back. So eventually they knock on the door. There's no answer. They knock on the door again. There's no answer. One of the flight attendants who was working in the back walks up, and I guess they have a way to open it. It looks like a wallet. It looks
Like
like
a
this.
tool, some
Yeah, and
kind.
then they go like this and slides the door open.
I wonder if it's a magnet.
It might be. Yeah. So anyway, long story short, he opens the door slowly, and all I can see is he looks back and he's like this. So eventually they drag this guy out. Okay. Something must have happened. Either he had a heart attack or a stroke or something. And he's laying on the ground and they're like just rocking his chest, trying to get him to breathe again. And I was 3 rows away from this. So I'm watching, I'm not, but I was like freaking out a little bit too. I don't know why, but
I mean,
so
it's an
anyway,
awful, awful thing to witness.
oh my gosh, it was awful. So they're working on him and nothing's happening. And then there was an EMT on the flight, so he walks up and he starts to work on him. So we landed the plane in Spokane. Is that right, Tyler?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
were still had a 3-ish hours to go, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden you feel the pilot make a pretty significant turn, and you're like, oh, we're going somewhere else. And then he said,
Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna land in Spokane in about 20 minutes.
So we land and the EMTs are on and they ask everybody, like, once they get on, they ask the flight attendants how long they had been working on this guy. And they said 45 minutes. There was I think what happened is I think he was probably dead right away, or maybe while he was in the bathroom or whatever, but because he wasn't really moving and there was just like, it just didn't really look good at all. So they got him off the plane eventually after about an hour. And then this is probably 10 o'clock West Coast time ish, like 11 o'clock West Coast time, something
Yeah,
like that.
10,
It was pretty.
10:30
It was pretty
maybe.
late.
Yeah. So then we're sitting there, and Captain is, hey, the crew that we have on here now, they don't really feel like they are able to fly to Anchorage this evening. And obviously, everybody was like, oh, yeah, obviously, because they were younger, not like young, but it's not every day that you see that. And I think they were shook. Like, it was just a bad situation. So
They didn't just see it; they were a part of it.
they
You
were
know what I
working
mean?
on,
Like,
yeah. And he didn't have any pants on either. And I know that's weird to say, but it's like it's not really what their job like.
it's
I
not
don't
real
know, like
life. It's like a
it's
scene
not.
from a movie.
Yeah, like it was
Yeah.
just wild. So we get
But
off the plane. Yeah,
I was gonna say it's
go ahead,
one
Tyler.
thing to train for it and do all that
Mhm.
stuff, but to actually live it and do it,
Oh,
and as a passenger too, you're in that mode where it's, I guess I'm not gonna get there. I'm gonna be a lot later, but you forget that it's not really about you there. Like you don't know what they just went through.
so we get off the plane and we get into a hotel probably by 12:30 or 1, and we rebook ourselves on a 5 o'clock flight
Day of the show.
out of Spokane. Yes, the morning of the show. We go from there to Seattle. We have a little bit of a connection, and then we get to Anchorage. We land in Anchorage, get to the hotel about what, like
9:30, 10 maybe.
9:30 or 10, 11, something like that. And then we were leaving the next morning at 6. So we were in Alaska for less than 24 hours. And Alaska is not a place you want to go for less than a day because it takes so long to get up there. But we made the show. It was great. It didn't have any issues on the way home, but it was just a wild thing to witness because I had never seen something like that, on an airplane. I had heard them ask a doctor on board or whatever, but never this. So it was just scary. Like it was just, I don't know, it just made me feel a certain way. But and I don't think the guy had anyone with him either. So it was, I don't know, it was just sad.
I was thinking about it though.
Yeah.
I feel like if it were me, I'd rather be alone than have Jamie have to then be on that flight the rest of
Oh,
the flight with
oh,
me. Just
Oh,
I can't imagine.
there's no good in there's no
No.
good situation here, but I'm just thinking about if it were me, what would I want to
Mhm.
happen? Yeah, nobody wants to be alone when that happens, but also I wouldn't want her to have to go through that or anyone in my family to have to like sit there and watch that and then just be there with me for
Right.
the next couple of hours and then land and then figure it out.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess you're right.
Or maybe they would have rather been there. I wish I could
Y-
have been there in their last moments. You know what I mean?
It's actually weird you say that because I was flying out to LA for something with the group about a year ago, and I was next to this lady, and she had her dog with her. It was like a little dog or whatever. And we get to talking, and eventually she says, "What you just said, that happened to her."
oh wow.
So
Was she on the plane or
her
at home?
yes, she
Oh
was
my
on the
goodness.
plane. her husband had a heart attack. He died on the plane, and she was sitting right there with him. And
Wow.
I'm not sure how we got there, but
You're like, I was just asking if you could pass me the pretzels. I don't know how we got to this.
I think it was the dog. I think she flies with her dog because, yeah, because I was like, how do you get on an airplane again? That's just because she was on her way to see one of her kids or something. I don't know. But yeah, she was like, it was awful. It was everything you would imagine. It was the worst thing ever. So yeah. But anyway, it
They
was
say it's
heavy,
they
but
say it's pretty common for men to have a heart attack
sure.
on the toilet.
That's what I heard after that. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they say it's
Uh-huh.
pretty common. So
And
be careful out there, boys.
yeah, I didn't know how old he was, but I would think, because I didn't really get to see his face, but I would think he was probably maybe early 60s or something. So yeah, man.
That's pretty young.
And you just never know. And I think that's why I was afraid, because that can happen like anytime. And there's nothing you can do when you're
Nope.
right in the middle of this long flight. Like, you're screwed if it's bad. So I think I was getting in my head, oh man, I hope this doesn't happen to me. I was like, maybe I shouldn't have this glass of wine right now, because and it just kept going in my head. Maybe you should just have water on every single flight and just not even kind of mess with that, even though it's not a big deal. I was like, okay, like, how does this never happen to me? And I think the resolution is you just never know.
It's
So
not up to you.
you
Yeah.
don't worry about it, and it's not
Yep.
up to you. So
Do the things that you can to prevent those kind of
exactly.
things.
Right.
But
Right.
if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. I remember when I was living in Vegas, there was an entertainer there by the name of Danny Gans.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
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 He was like literally the biggest thing in
Yeah.
Vegas. And
Yeah.
like outside of Vegas, nobody had ever heard of this guy. But in Vegas, he was like King Vegas.
Mhm.
And he was a very religious family man, did not drink, did not smoke, did no drugs, was very healthy, super in shape. And one day, like, just dropped dead of a heart attack. And he was relatively young. So it's got to enjoy and live. And,
Yeah.
but I'd like to segue this into a quick news segment that we'll just probably do this one time.
If there is a way to segue out of that
There
into
isn't.
something else.
There isn't.
Now I'd like to pause for an ad.
Nope, too many bad jokes to make there. But anyway, let's talk about some travel tips and tricks
Oh, okay. I
because
like
we
this.
travel a lot
Yeah.
and a lot of people travel a couple times a year, but
Mhm.
we are constantly on the go. One piece of advice I would give to anyone that ever gets on a plane: never drink coffee or tea on the planes, because the systems they use, it's hard for them to really clean the tubing. So there's a lot of mildew and mold and stuff. And I'm sure they do everything they can to clean it, but as anyone with a Keurig or any sort of coffee machine at home knows, like, you really got to stay up on top of those things. Otherwise, they can get pretty gnarly real fast. I actually learned that on TikTok from a flight attendant who was like, I'm giving everybody some advice of when they get on the plane. And the next thing I would say is just drink a ton of water on the planes, because you're breathing in a lot of that recycled dry air. So a lot of what people think is jet lag is a lot of dehydration. So stay hydrated on the planes. That's it. Any tips you
Ano-
guys got?
I would say another one is, if you're flying overseas, spend the money to get global entry if you
Oh,
can.
yeah.
I don't know how much it is now,
I
but
think it's
don't
like
think
$100
and I
for
think it's
I think
like
it's still
5
100
years.
$100,
bucks.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. So
But
if you're ever
depending on, sorry,
go ahead. No,
depending
no,
on your
go ahead.
credit card, if you have an airline credit card, or
Mhm.
depending on your status, like I know with Delta, every year you get something called choice benefits, where you get to choose from 4 different things. Usually it's like a $250 travel voucher, 4 first class upgrades, um, gifting somebody like gold status, or getting global entry for free. So there are free ways to get it.
Mhm.
But yeah, dude, absolutely. Because it comes with TSA pre-check.
That's right. Try not to be late to the airport. Nobody wants to rush. No, there's no other good tips. At least not that I can think of right now.
If you have Clear, I just learned this on my trip with the family. If you have Clear, your kids can go through Clear with you for free.
Oh, cool.
I did not know that.
I didn't know that either.
The pre-check is the same way, I believe, if they're on the reservation with you.
With
So
you, okay.
yeah, I believe that. But yeah, so
That's good to know.
Yeah. Thank you, Segi. That was
Yeah.
really
Tips.
nice. It was
Tips
really
and
nice.
tricks. We'll have
That
some
segment
more.
was brought to you by any travel partner that would like to send us a check. You can reach us at unofficialofficialpod@gmail.com.
HOTWIRE hotwire.com.
That was free
Right?
advertising.
Is that one? Oh, that was free.
advertising.
All right, let me rewind that. Cool. Okay. Why don't we transition into more question and answer session here? Let's go into the old mailbag. We've been getting a lot of good responses from you guys. You like the segment. So we're going to keep doing it. So why don't we dig into that with our question man, Tyler? He's going to read them off and we're going to answer. Here we go.
Yeah, we got 3 of them today, and people have been doing a lot better about putting their name and where they're from because we always like to hear that. So, the first one is from Jenny Jones from Michigan City. I think I would assume that's in Michigan.
Indiana.
I'm
Michigan
wrong.
City, Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Where
See
is
what
that?
happens when you assume?
North.
It's right on the border.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. She says I had my karaoke debut. The SNC Cruise was way back in 2012.
Mm.
And we did karaoke, and she did Ice Baby because it didn't require actual singing ability. So her question is, what is or would be your go-to karaoke song? I don't do karaoke a lot. I don't know about you guys, but whenever I do go somewhere where there's karaoke, like all my friends are like, "Come on, man, you should do it. You should do it. You can sing. Come on, man." I'm always like, I don't know, but I don't.
I can't remember the last time I did it, but I try to do something hype
Yeah,
or something that,
or the original Ignition.
or the original Ignition. Yeah.
Please. Okay, now we got to tell the story.
Okay.
Dusseldorf, right?
Yeah, somewhere in Germany,
Somewhere in
we were
Germany.
touring,
I think it was Dusseldorf.
and we had gone to a karaoke bar. We didn't know there was karaoke. We were just going to a bar. There was karaoke, so we all, or I think Jerome signed up. I think Mike signed. I don't think I sang, but Mike signs up, and he's like you said, he likes to do a hype song. So what he thinks writes down is the remix to Ignition. There's a remix to Ignition. That song. He writes it down and gives it to the guy, and then when it's his turn, he gets called up, and the song starts to play, but nobody, even including Mike, knows what this song is. So everybody's looking at like the karaoke words go across, like you're supposed to start singing, but nobody knows what's going
No.
on or the
Also,
melody.
Mike can't read German, so that was no help.
Also that. And so we were trying to all figure it out, and we were like, "Oh, is there an original
It's the
Ignition?"
original Ignition. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was so funny.
It was
But
amazing.
the ending of this is that it was so bad. It was so bad that after it was over, I was just like, nah, I can't. So I went into the
Oh,
remix just a cappella
that was great.
or
Oh my gosh.
for a minute or something, or like maybe just a chorus or something. But I was like, there's no way that I can go out like this. So I just was like, nah, man.
That
So
was funny. That
that
was
was
a
funny.
funny moment.
And then that
Yeah, it was
German
good.
dude went up there and did the Bublé song
Oh,
down like 2 octaves.
so low.
Oh my
Another
gosh.
summer's day has come and gone away. Dude, what's happening in this bar?
I've done This Is How We Do It once before on that. So yeah, I'd say yeah, something like that or something that's hype.
Tyler, there is a animal.
Oh, well, say hi. Say hi. I usually do like a rock song or like Summer
Journey.
69's always a good one. Yeah, anything Journey or rock that's kind of hype. Usually I'll pick something that doesn't have a whole lot of words because I remember what song did I do? It was like way back in the day. It was a Maroon 5 song. Oh,
This Love,
no.
Sunday morning,
The
She
first
Will Be-
hit.
She
Like
Will Be
the-
Loved.
You will be loved.
I'm about to stand about
oh,
it, about it, though. That one. There's a
Um,
lot of words in that song.
Harder to Breathe.
Harder to Breathe.
Yeah.
That
When
album
it
was
gets cold outside and you got nobody. Yeah, that has a lot of words. I didn't know that
Yeah.
until I got up there. I'm like, holy moly.
One thing we did in college that was really fun is there would be one place there every weeknight or every Thursday was Bears karaoke.
Yep.
So sometimes a few of us would wander in there and we would write in. I'd be like, okay, so if I was with Ryan or I think I was with Mickey and Ryan like one night, and we each wrote in a song for the other person.
Karaoke challenge.
They didn't know what the song was, but it had to be something that at least we knew a little bit of. So maybe we didn't actually know the lyrics, but
That's
obviously you can
fun.
read the lyrics. Yeah. So I remember Mickey, he gave me Genie in a Bottle.
Oh, great
And I was
song.
like, okay, I know that song. I need some help with the lyrics, but I know that song at least. So that was a good like example of a challenge song.
We
So
never did that, the karaoke challenge, but that's fun.
it was
We
fun.
did it when we were
Yeah, we did some.
recording
I never
probably
did it.
Christmas Cheers or With a Twist. I don't really go to karaoke either. If I do, I'll probably do something Rat Packy. But yeah, I generally don't go to karaoke. It's
You're professional.
no, it's
I
not
know,
even
I'm
about
kidding.
singing. It's really like when I worked on the ship, some of the most brutal times when you'd be in the martini bar and then down at the party bar on the floor below, they'd be doing
Yeah.
karaoke and you could hear it. Bad singers, it's just so hard to listen to. It's hard to listen to like people that think they're doing well, but they're just really bad. The
Yeah.
people that go up there and are having fun with it and aren't
Yeah.
good, that's fine. It's the people that are like, "Oh, I'm going to really impress these people." And they go
Yeah.
up there and it's just so bad. It's awkward. It's like watching a comic bomb. It's like really uncomfortable. You're just like,
Hmm.
I feel so bad. I wish I could help you right now, but you're just going to have to sink.
Here's a
Yeah.
piece of advice. Mike said, if you're gonna do karaoke, do a song that's hype, like upbeat. What I mean by upbeat, or do a song that has crowd involvement, like
Hmm.
Sweet Caroline, Pop, that one.
Right.
Nobody wants to hear My Heart Will Go On from Titanic.
No.
Unless you're Celine Dion, don't sing that song.
Love it.
Or us in movie
Good.
medley.
Or having fun, making fun. Okay.
That was a
Oh,
good question, Jenny
well,
Jones. Good
thank you,
question.
Jenny Jones. Okay, this
Loved
is
your talk show.
Mary here from New Jersey. She asks about our fantasy football league. She's seen many groups often have a unique game of sorts to determine the selecting order for their fantasy leagues. Like, I think she's talking about like draft order. Did you guys do anything fun for that?
No, we used to do
Oh, the bingo, the balls.
yeah, that's just a random
But I think some people are like doing like obstacle
40
courses
yard
and like
dash. Yeah.
their time is their draft slot or whatever.
We used to do something called the tank, and that was if you got the lowest points in the week, you would have to choose a punishment from a sheet of punishments that bless you.
Ooh.
We would each submit a punishment before the season, and they'd have to be within reason. It couldn't be like go get a tattoo of my face over your face.
Nothing, it was like nothing permanent or nothing could like that would affect the show, like blue hair or
Yeah, or get you in trouble or get you arrested.
yeah, yeah.
Like nothing bad. And it was always like just really silly, dumb things. There was like run a mile and jeans and a tucked in button down, and you have to chug a beer every quarter mile. I think Charlie had to sit on a city bus for how long?
I don't know. It was
It
a
was like
lot.
several hours.
Yeah.
That's awful.
There's been a couple of the worst one was to drink the tank drink, which was my grandfather's old beverage of choice, which was a Milwaukee's Best over ice, because obviously, who hasn't gone to a bar and been like,
Yeah.
barkeep, I'll have a Milwaukee's Best on the rocks, please. And then he would mix in a little vodka and a little whiskey, stirred up, and enjoy himself an afternoon of that.
If you
Drinking
order
that was
If you order Milwaukee's Best, you're guaranteed not to get ID'd.
yes,
There's not
or
a young
or graduate high school.
right.
That is quite the drink. I
It's so
definitely
bad.
had it. I think I had it one time. I don't know how much of it like we made everyone drink, but
A full one.
it was a full, yeah, all right, like a full cup of one. But
Yeah, we didn't have
it
Milwaukee's
was,
Best, so we
oof,
probably just used Coors.
yeah. But
But yeah, all sorts of silly things like that. Go to the grocery store and buy like some embarrassing things. Or Tyler, didn't you have to listen to something for
I had to listen to our A&R producer Steve Lunt's former band from England called City Boy. I had to listen to the entire album from start to finish one day, which actually wasn't terrible.
Yeah, this is back when
yeah,
Tyler was cool and in the league, but now he sucks and he's out of the league.
Oh man, if
yeah,
I didn't know we were
Um,
talking about it on the podcast, I
too
may
cool
have
for
said.
us.
Oh,
yeah,
one time Jerome had to stand outside our venue and have a sign that said "honk for acapella."
That was in St. Louis, outside the Fox. Yeah.
I forgot about that. That's good.
I should go and try to dig up those lists. They gotta be.
I'm sure they're saved on there somewhere on the league's homepage or something.
They've got to be in my email.
Oh, okay.
Hold
Yeah.
on. Tank list. Got it.
Does that
That
quick?
wasn't that hard. Yeah.
I know
Um,
Mike probably had he was into the swim caps then. That was probably one of them.
Oh,
yeah,
the swim
yes.
cap.
You had to wear it out from the
You had to wear a swim cap for something. I don't know what it was for, but oh, out. Oh, and then there was one which
rider only food for the day.
there was
Oh,
one
I
which
think Don did that.
there
which
was
is
one which I feel
normal.
bad about. It was you had to. I don't know if I want to say this or not, but
Oh,
I don't
know
think
what
you should.
I
We-
know what you're gonna say.
I wouldn't.
We'll save that for the Patreon.
Oh,
yes.
come,
Good.
Mike,
Good
you
call.
did this one.
What?
Come to sound check or the office in a diaper and no pants.
Oh, I
that's-
did. Yeah.
That's
it
the one I
did.
thought
did
you were
say-
talking about. There's another
No.
one that I don't know.
No.
Let's see.
Oh, I know which one it is. Does it involve a grocery store?
It was
No,
DR. It was something that
DR.
he had to wear out to when we went out to eat.
Oh yeah, we can't do that.
Oh, man.
Bartend for the band one night after a Sunday show. I think Don
Yeah.
did that.
That was a
I'd-
fun one though, because like usually
Yeah.
everybody was
Well,
hanging
not for
out.
him.
No, but
Yo, DR was so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
in
Oh, complete
that.
a full load in with the crew.
Yeah, that's a good one.
laundry was that one of them?
Yeah.
Oh, the sheets on the bus, maybe? Like the washing
Oh,
the
I
sheets
thought
on
it was
the
like
bus.
personal laundry.
Oh, yeah, maybe it was.
So those were just some examples of the hilarious things and some of the things we can't share for safety reasons. But yeah, the fantasy football league, we're in week 2. Week 2 is over.
Mhm.
Right now, DR, Jerome, and Walt are all 2-0. And Luke, Bob, Brits, and Jasper are 0-2. And the rest of us are 1-1. A lot of injuries,
Mhm.
a lot of teams dealing with injuries, and more to come because of this past weekend. So the waiver wire shall be a frenzy.
Yeah, a lot of big guys are out right now. Like I know last night one of the receivers for the Eagles was out, and
AJ
then
Brown.
Samuel is out for a bit.
Cooper Cup.
Cooper Cup is out for a
Nakua.
bit.
Don't know about Justin Jefferson yet.
McCaffrey's out. Like but that's a part of it. And like you
Season.
said, it's early. Yeah. So cool.
So that's the
Yeah.
recap of the fantasy league.
Okay, Tyler, I think we have time for one more question here.
Okay. I won a league on that. What's his name?
Oh, you mean the lead that you're not in with us? That one?
Yeah, I won last night on Jalen Hurts' last interception.
Nice.
by a point.
Nice.
Okay, our favorite. Well, not our favorite. One of our favorites. Oh, he is definitely one of our favorites. All the way from Aurora, Illinois, Mr. Rich Bento.
He emailed?
I came up with that all by myself. Okay,
Yes.
he asks about the opening video and who comes up with the theme. Is it some random thought somebody has, or is there a video committee?
Segi, you want to take this one?
Yeah, it's generally a random thought that is brought to the group, and then the group will talk through it, come up with ideas, brainstorm. It's pretty collaborative, which is awesome. So that's usually how that goes. It's a lot like the set list. Like we're all pitching different ideas, and then we'll come to a consensus and put it down on paper, try it out. If it doesn't work, reshuffle the deck, try again, keep going. But yeah, that's generally how it works. Sometimes management will have an idea, or even Robert Hubbard, our videographer and director of all of the videos we do. So the idea can come from anywhere, and we'll just, if the group is feeling it, we'll run with it and hope to make it funny.
Shout out, Robert.
This year, for example, we already have the idea. I think it's going to be one of our best. Segi had an idea for this year's one, which is going to be fun. We usually like to shoot that as early as we can, but I feel like this year it's going to have to be during the rehearsal week. But I think that's actually good, though, because from now up until then, we can think about all the different stuff that we want to
really
do.
fine
And
tune the script. and
exactly.
everything.
Yeah. Right. So,
But the last 2 videos I think we've recorded during rehearsal week. That's, a hat tip to Robert Hubbard, who can get all that stuff filmed and directed
turned
and
around.
done and edited and color corrected and sound balance and all that stuff he's doing really quickly. So Robert Hubbard, if you're listening, and we know that you are, well
Mhm.
done.
Robert is out on the road at the moment with 21 Pilots. So he's doing some really good work, and I'm happy for him that he's getting those opportunities. It's good for him. But
I will say it
yeah,
was cool. It was cool a couple years ago when they had that display for us in Bloomington, or that the thing that they set up for us with the all the different pictures and documents from all throughout the years since college. And that one room that had the all of our opening videos like playing on a loop was so cool because I'd forgotten about some of those early ones. I was
yeah,
like, oh my gosh, I forgot about this, and the suits that we wore and all that different stuff.
we've come a long way since then, like with all the production value and all that stuff. But yeah, that was really interesting to see it all back like that.
This all stemmed from the original guys. Like they started this in college, doing the silly videos to start the show.
Mm-hmm.
And we've just kept the tradition going. And I think it's like the perfect icebreaker for our show because for anyone not familiar with us, I had the same initial reaction when I was first told about Straight No Chaser. I was like, it sounds boring and stuffy, like acapella. I don't know. That sounds lame. I think it sets the tone. It's okay. These guys are, this is what they are. They're not taking themselves seriously at all. They'll make fun of each other. They'll make fun of themselves. They're just having fun. It's going to be a funny show. It's going to be just relaxed and casual. And I think it really sets the tone for the show, having like sketch comedy, if you will, at the top of the show.
I agree.
Yeah, it's like a nice icebreaker too, a nice introduction to us if you don't know us. Because if we just start the show, you really have no idea what to expect. And then I think if we came out and tried to be funny in our intros without that initial icebreaker, people would be like, they're trying too hard to be funny.
Yeah.
Whereas the video kind of shows that we're just a bunch of idiots. And
Right.
that's like our whole vibe.
Like once you already established that, oh, this is going to be fun. These guys are having fun. Everybody's laughing. Everybody's trying to have a good time, and we want you to have a good time too.
Yeah. Good.
Good
Man,
question, Rich.
That was all.
We get some good
That was all I got.
questions
Those
coming
are some good questions, and we
Cool.
would love more of them. So keep emailing, keep sending us your questions, and we will hopefully read them on the pod.
in. Nice.
I've got a few things I'd like to cover.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, let's do it. The floor is yours.
I would like to cover the Top Shelf Tour, folks.
Woo.
Tickets are on sale at sncmusic.com. It's coming up quick.
It really is.
It's coming up really fast. Our set list is basically set. Our stage design is set. The rider's been sent out to the venues. All that's left is us to learn the show and lights, camera, action. So I want to let the people know that our first show is going to be on Friday, October 18th, Parks Casino in Bensalem, Pennsylvania. And from there, we go to Schenectady, New York.
Yep.
At Proctor's on October 19th. I believe Walt was born in Schenectady.
Walt was born there. That's right.
And after that, on the 20th of October, Sunday, we head over to Red Bank, New Jersey, one of our favorites, at the Count Basie Center for the Arts.
Oh, yeah.
And then we get a day off after that, thankfully.
Cool.
So I just want to let people know where we're going to be that first week on tour. Again, sncmusic.com for tickets and information. Wardrobe is set. The show is going to be great. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited.
I am too. It's nice to have all of those things wrapped up as we're heading into the week there. So yeah, that's going to be fun.
Right on. I'm excited. Now
Cool.
I just have to do a bunch of work to get ready for it. Let's go.
Yeah, I got a couple of things I have to do as well. I'm going to be getting into that later this week. And let's see. Yeah, it's about 3 or 4 weeks out from rehearsal. We're going to get all the stuff together and we're going to do a great show for y'all. I think we'll wrap it up here for the day. For Tyler, Segi, and Mike, this has been episode number 8 of the unofficial official podcast of Straight No Chaser. And we'll see you guys next time. See ya.
Wake up, kids, we've got the dreamers to see. Age 40, we got you down.